You hear me? Yes, I can hear me. That means other people can hear me too. Good afternoon. Or good night, because it is actually the night time now. Good night. Good night, everybody. Right, sort these glasses out. I have to have headphones on top of glasses that go behind your ears, and it means your ears get crushed. That's what happens. Just what happens. Get in. Shrek how you doing? What's going on here? So, I think the camera's moved, or I've moved, or I'm not slouching in my seat enough for it to. On a night I don't have to get up early in the morning. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'm not having to get up in the morning is a good thing, but you're on a night, meaning you're working late. Have you just finished work? What's this? Look at this mad grey streak here. What the hell's that? Feels like that's new. That can't be new. Anyway, my glasses are. I see. I clocked off about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. And then I'm up in the morning again. I like working late. I used to prefer lates, yeah. I was always a night person. Yeah. Like one job I did work part-time in Royal Mail. 6 in the morning till 6 till 10, yeah. It was a very strange broken sleep pattern. Not much different from now, really. Oh yeah, so I carried on with the foghorn. That's what I came up with. Hello, Brown Eye. Oh, Tinnitus. That's your name. Tinnitus Spiritus. 69. I'll just call you Tinnitus. Rather than Cyclops or. Yeah. I mean, it's up to you how I can call you. I can address you however you want, as long as I might not remember it. Tinnitus. Subtinnitus. I have tinnitus. It's great. Like, just have bass frequencies in my head all day. I can't escape them. No, I mean what your name. I didn't know what your name was, and I forgot. I can click on your name and see like your that thing. Oh, I'm not zoomed in. How do I zoom in? There. Let's try again. There. Because without that, all I can see is an eye and nice pattern. Almost like Art Deco. Not quite, but almost. So yeah, just call you Tinnitus. Tinnitus. Unless you want me to call you something else. Baked bean? Why is that picture? It's a funny picture. I have used this already in a few tunes, that drum roll, because it's good. This is a good drum roll. I've not released any of them yet, but What am I going to do in this session? I do not know. Let's see if we can get an hour long out of it. So, well, the mastering sucks. Well, it's probably not the mastering, it's probably the mix. Is the first thing I would say. The first, the biggest misconception. I had to learn it the hard way. I had to actually get my tracks mastered professionally to realise this. I got two D&B tracks mastered by DJ Sapo, the legend. And when they came back, they sounded amazing. They'd been squashed to hell, which drum and bass usually is or has been. And that just brought out all the. Do you know what was the biggest fault with it? It wasn't necessarily my mix. It was actually just the actual music itself. So I still published them, and I think that I don't even know if they're still on my SoundCloud. Actually, did I take them down because I'd uploaded better tunes than that, and where would they be? But yeah, it's usually music, mix, and then mastering, because all the mastering engineer should be doing is small moves, just to overall balance it. If you feel like you're doing too much processing on the as a mastering engineer, it's probably best going back to the mixing stage. But obviously, if that's not possible, and obviously if you just pay 30 quid, which Sapo had on offer on for 2 tracks, I think it was 2 tracks for 30 quid, ages ago. In that situation, as a mastering engineer, you're probably just going to go bang bang, send it, and it's done, job done, rather than have a big long conversation with the client about it. Yeah, I think I did take them down. Are they not even on my Bandcamp? Oh wait, were they in a they were in a different name, that's what it was. What was the name? Maybe it was Terrapastel, hang on a minute. I think I took them down as well, yeah. But yeah, I think you basically, just release the track anyway, just to give it your best shot. Publish it so people can hear it, and it's in a public place like on SoundCloud or whatever. Because that way you won't. It's done. That's the piece done, and you'll learn from it. You'll learn more from it once it's out in the real world. Whereas if you don't share it with the world, you'll probably keep going back into the project and try and tweak stuff, when that time is way better spent starting something new and starting it all from scratch, because then you learn how to get everything right from the start slowly. You'll learn, and this is something I'm still learning, I'm still trying to get into the habit of the mindset of starting new stuff, publish what I've done, do my best effort, publish it, give myself a deadline, just publish it, whatever's done, write down, and then it's out there and it's done, it's out of the way. You can't go back and change it, but you can start again and learn from your mistakes. And that way you'll learn more and grow faster. So yeah, put it out there, mate. Soon, yeah, the mastering sucks. All right. So I currently have tinnitus. I have tinnitus spiritus 69. I have a Discord, a Terrapastel Discord, and there's a few of us on there, producers. You can go on there if you want. I think the link's probably expired. You might not be on Discord. You could email it to me. But there's also a few other producers who might be able to like say, give their feedback to. But if not, yeah, just terrapastel@gmail. And if you want feedback off from me, ask for it, and I'll tell you what I think. Usually of the engineering, because the thing about artistic feedback is it's a different. If you're trying to make drum and bass, it's easy for me to say this is how it's done because there's a certain way drum and bass is done. There's a certain way. There's a lot of boxes to tick. And if you're going for drum and bass, it's easy for me to go, all right, yeah, this sound could do with a bit more, thingy here, and you could do with a drum roll here. The babies is crying. I might have to pause. I might have to just go away for 5 minutes. I know. Yeah. So I can offer that sort of feedback quite easily, but artistic feedback when it's not a certain genre is quite hard to do because I don't know what you're going for. I'd probably ask you what you're going for. Right, give me 5 minutes. I've just got to sort this baby out. She's gone quiet again. Okay. Corey Lewis, but I wish when I used to produce that I soundtracks people rushing to release. I was releasing, regret it. See, that's the thing I'm trying to get over. There's a balance. I think I released one a month last year, roughly. I managed 7 months out of 12. Not bad. And I think the reason why I didn't release 12 out of 12 is because I didn't want to release something that was substandard. It was a battle. I had deadlines, set my own set deadlines, but it was a battle of I don't want to release shit under my name. I'm trying to build a brand around my name that's like some kind of quality. But what even is that? Again, that's another question. What is quality? But if I'd stuck to the formula and just, I'll tell you what though, there were things that got in the way because I've got 2 kids. No, I've got 3 kids, 2 babies. There were lots of things that got in the way on some weeks, which meant I couldn't do this sort of process. Split a month into like 4 weeks where you start a load of tracks in week 1, finish a few in week 2, finish even fewer of those in week 3, and then mix and master in week 4 and get ready to release by the end of week 4. If you have like unwell kids who are really sick, there's just no time to do that. So that's probably why I didn't meet some of those deadlines. But it would have been really interesting to go, oh shit, well, deadline day's here. This is how it sounds. This is how the best of my track sounds this month. I'm just going to release it. I'm going to follow the rule. And what would have come out, I don't know how people would react to that. The ones I did, the 7 I did finish, might be overproduced. And sometimes the simple stuff people love. The producer goes, that's my worst work. And the listeners go, that's your best work. You know what I mean? There's no way of like predicting it. So this is why this formula, just make it, do your best for to a deadline and release it. Even if you think it's shit, just get it out there. And so your whole process is learning over years and years and many, many releases. You're learning from the fails, the mistakes of meeting a deadline. And so I would still swear by doing it that way, even though I didn't fully do it that way. I think what came out, all these tracks, there's some pretty cool ones there, but I think, I mean, some of them, like Glorian and Folio, they took quite a long time. They took a lot of work to do. What if I just made simple tunes? Simple tunes are good. You know what I mean? And by the end of it, I think I have like over mixed a lot of these, trying to make them too loud in the genre. It's not even a fixed genre, like where it should be loud. You know what I mean? Anyway, there's a lot packed into each month there. Yeah. So strategy: release more, fail more, learn more, release rubbish, and write down how to improve and stuff. Damn, what is it really? I didn't know you're not English. Manchester, sort of northern accent. But I moved to Wales. I've been in Wales for 3 years, and I think I've picked up a little bit of the Wrexham accent, just a little bit, just a little bit of the twang. Opposite has happened. I had a kid and hadn't released or produced since. Yeah, no, I don't. 3 years. Yeah, the first few months after they were born, there was nothing. And then I started doing just a little bit. I just had a little bit of me time in the evening. All my other hobbies and interests, I had to decide. I've got no time for games anymore. My social life is the absolute minimum, barely anything. This is my social life. This is the closest thing I've got to like a decent social life. Like I do meet up with friends sometimes, but not like I used to. Not every weekend. But yeah, everything else. I've got no time for games. I can't watch a series anymore. Nothing. All for this. So I'm dedicated. um, I was thinking I'd love to have finished watching. There's so many films I want to watch. Go to sleep. Thanks for talking. Thanks for chatting to us, sharing your thoughts. I hope you finish your tracks and stuff. Yeah, get them out there so we can all hear them. Oh yeah, yeah, and send me that email or go on my Discord if you're on Discord. Just create underground stuff that people can enjoy. Yeah, it's getting people to hear it is a whole another difficult thing. I've tried a million times and lots of different ways to get people to hear my tracks. There's nothing worse than working on a track for a month and then it getting listened to like under 10 times or even 100 times, because SoundCloud had this thing where they guaranteed if you're on SoundCloud for artists they would guarantee 100 listens to your track. So I bought the monthly subscription hoping that would be enough, but it's not. They try to connect your tune with people who might like it somehow. The algorithm can't be that clever though that does it. It's just going off, I don't know, just some basic metrics. And maybe get one like if I was lucky out of 100 listens. That's not a very good rate. That's not good. So yeah, I've tried loads of things like that. And this is what's interesting about marketing, because I've read what's his name, Seth Godin, and he says like unless you're like a car company with millions of pounds budget and you just force adverts down people's eyeballs by throwing money at a TV channel, and the cost of an advert is like quite expensive. Unless you're one of these multinational companies, you can't afford to market like that. You shouldn't be advertising. You should be building a community. So, as you might have noticed, A lot of artists these days have communities. This live has been really good at bringing people together where we can share ideas. And I've got a Discord and stuff, and yes, we're all helping each other. That's what a community is. So that kind of works, because you'll probably get more listens if you post your tune on the Discord or on this live at a good time, because I don't always play other people's music. Then people will actually listen to it. It's good. It's good being part of a community. Yeah, and I think it's social media, when it's done right, everyone can get involved and share their things, and we can all listen to it. Yeah, and help each other out. You don't want to grow up. I think he's gone now. Tinnitus is gone. His name is Tinnitus, and I keep saying it's funny how using tinnitus in a sentence. Because I have tinnitus, so if tinnitus is gone. I mean, I don't notice it right now. I can't hear it now. Minnie Mouse. Most viewed track ever. Nice, that's good. 10 to 15. Well done, mate. Well done, Corey. 10 out of 10. Oh, nice one, James. Yeah, well, you're part of it, There's no one bad in here so far. I hope it doesn't attract any wrong-uns. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Couldn't disagree with that. Most viewed track. It's probably my D&B, actually. Let's go on here. I think it was... I mean, not counting TikTok, Corey, because almost there's a TikTok video that I made of Serum 2 the other day. Or was it last week I made it? Well, when Serum 2 came out. And it's just me messing with Serum 2 and I'm making a tune at the end of it. And that's had 2,000 views so far. But I'm not going to count that, because that's not it's not purpose-made music, traditional, I'm going to listen to some music right now. So it's probably Reach Out. This one. Or Scoop Treat. 403. Not bad. Do you know what? That says 4 years ago, right? That's when I started on this journey of this type of producing, and with the aim of sort of failing. You have to follow through all the way to a release, self-release it, publish it, so it's out in the real world and you can't take it down. It's there to learn from now, and I've learned a few things from this track and all these, but 4 years ago, that's April. Wow, it feels like ages ago. It feels like a long time ago. So I do like, what I like about this is all the sounds. I'm like, how the fuck did I come up with all these? I know some of the drums are like loops, and I've chopped them up, obviously, if you do what I usually do, but it's got all these sound effects in. I'm like, how the fuck did I make them? I cannot remember how I did it. But if I was to make this kind of track again, I would mix it very differently. I probably couldn't make the same track again. Not possible. Because the energy is different in it. Like the actual placement of the notes determines how the kick and the bass move. And I'm still trying to give it space down there. Do you know what I mean? Somehow. Scoop. Get to sleep next to you. That's nice. I won't speak too loud. Thanks for following, Corey. Nice. So far, James is the only wrong in here. Yeah, so that's next level on SoundCloud from a D&B, and then Terra Pastel on everywhere, on here, and yeah, everywhere. Yeah, Terra Pastel on SoundCloud. It is. I think, did I put in there? I didn't put my next level, but on Instagram it'll take you to my next level. D&B. That's all my D&B on next level. Had to separate them out just to make my life more twice, just to make my social media work twice as much. But since I'm doing everything under Terra Pastel at the moment, because it's I can't update two bloody things multiple times a week. What the hell? I cannot do that. I can only barely do this on one name. But yeah, I am making D&B again. I made loads of dubstep since October, and I'm gonna bring all that out this year under Terra Pastel, and then all this D&B will come out under Nexlev again, NEXLEV. I'm just Terra Pastel now. Like, I'm gonna do all my live streams and videos are done under Terra Pastel, but if I've made a D&B production, it'll be released under Nexlev. I don't know if any of you released tunes before, like on Spotify and stuff like that, or even on SoundCloud. There's a promotion tool called Hyped It, and I used to use them, and that's how I got 400 views on these. I mean, weirdly that only had 65, but it's like, I don't know if it was $6.99 at the time. I think it's $9.99 now, and you know, if you use it per month, so if you release one track every day, you're gonna get the most out of that $9.99. But I only had like about 4 releases a month, if that, 2 to 4, and that's how I got these hundreds of views. So these hundreds of views aren't because SoundCloud is good at hooking you up with listeners, or was 4 years ago. No, this is because I used a tool. But Hyped It is actually really good for D&B, because that's what D&B DJs are used to using to get free tracks. So you would hear it and go, oh, this is good, press buy, and it would take you to a download gate there, like that. There, oh, this one's still linked to Hyped It. You press download, and then it says support the artist, like and repost Scooptree on and follow on SoundCloud. So you just press it, and then after you've done all that, it gives you the download, an MP3. Oh, I think I did FLAC, or did I do WAV? I can't remember. And when you do that, that's obviously how you get a like. So I can tell that 22 people did that. But as well as that, they Hyped It puts you on their directory. So, and because there's loads of other D&B on there, people listen to D&B actually on that site and click through to your track. So it's like promotion. It works both ways. It is pretty good for D&B, but it doesn't work for electronic. And I don't think it probably wouldn't work as well for dubstep. I don't know why. I just know that as a D&B DJ, that's where you get a lot of free music downloads. It's where it's a good place to go. Go to SoundCloud, look for free downloads, click through. But yeah, if I was on the payroll of Hyped It, I'd be saying, here's a link, try out Hyped It. Have they actually got one? They probably do, you know. Affiliate, yeah. Yeah. But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna make money that way. Yeah. So little tip. That's good if you're making D&B. But for other stuff, I just don't know. Go-to genre. It's either D&B or dubstep. So dubstep. It's either dubstep, D&B dubstep, the trusty, crafty genres where there's like you follow some certain rules to get that sound, and then everything else, anything else, your creativity is unbound by what you could make, and so I'm just bound by those two. They're my go-tos, but also my go-to is just like any weird electronic music. But what I ended up making last year was, I don't know, whatever this is. I don't know what I was thinking. I just liked the energy, the positive energy. Did make this. That was made using recordings from the shed. Like, that snare is actually a saw blade. That's as alternative as I got. I listen back to these and I think how busy, how it's only 11 months ago, that one, how busy the mids are. I would mix that differently now if I was to do that again. But I think my favourite track out of that year, last year, was either the first one. It's quite slow. Or the second to last one, which is, it's a bit of a short one. It's got tempo changes in that one. It's unusual. EDM. But the sound design mashed my head. Yeah, it is. Do you know what? It mashes my head. If I don't, I think I have to settle for, this is as good as I am at the moment at sound design, and I just have to make a tune based around those sounds and not try and make other people's D&B. I just have to make my own D&B because if I try and do other people's, I just can't do it. I just fail, and I always want to put a fail before, like, wait, that's the wrong way of putting it. That, you know what I mean though. I just can't make other people's D&B basically. I'll try and begin a track with an element in mind, like, I quite like Similar, that track by Similar, which just goes boom boom, and it's just got like a classic break, but it's like really soft. Everything sounds really soft, but it's actually still very loud. And if you played it in a club, you could probably turn it up really loud, and it'd be nice, pleasant to listen to on the ears, not harsh. So I thought, right, I want to make sounds like that. So I did, and it sounds nothing like the Similar track, not even slightly. The elements aren't even, and it ended up being nothing. But I still carried on with it. Like, when once you've got a few sounds that kind of work together, you might as well just carry on. But the way I wanted to do it was totally different. And I think that's what you should do. Is you should just roll with what you've got and do that, finish that, and then do that again. Keep doing that, keep finishing release, and then eventually you might get. You don't want it to sound like similar, but yes, I suppose you'll learn how to do those elements the way that Simula might do them or another producer might do them, and sort of slowly incorporate things and do things your own way. But yeah, the sound design. Yeah, I mean, I've always started from You Never Leave Sexter. I usually start my basses from scratch in Serum because, or start them from scratch, but after watching a tutorial on how to make a certain bass sound, because then you really get to learn it. That's how you get to learn your synth, by dialing in these things yourself. If you do presets, that's fine. It was probably going to cost you more money, and you might not learn as much about the synth as in the same amount of time, but you could probably finish more tunes quicker. You probably make tunes a lot quicker with like quality presets that are easy to mix at the mixing stage. Just sound choice from the start is something that I'm still trying to master. If every tune I started had the best samples to begin with, that went together perfectly, then I'd release more tunes because I wouldn't spend as much time mixing them. Because at the moment I spend most of the time that's spent on a track doing the mixing. It's not just mixing, it is literally that as well. Corey. FX, fills. I once wrote this big list. This is something, I'll tell you what, this is how, seeing these tracks here, it was at this point, it was for this EP release with these 4 tracks, that I wrote down every element that you get in a typical piece of D&B music. I wrote it down into a list, into a checklist. So every tune that I've did, I would have I'd have to check all these boxes, nearly all of them. Where's this list? Should we have a look? So I added this checklist here, watch this. Oops. Wait. This is a great checklist. Tune checklist, here we go. You ready? Is it going to load it? There we go. Right, checklist. Look at how long is it. I added to it as well. So that's for a D&B tune, because D&B is quite a certain thing. It doesn't, not all D&B has all these things, but I went through this list to remind me, does it need this element? So beats, layered clap or snares, 3 layers, high, body, air, so it could layer it could have like 3 layers of beats, and then percussion, like you just said there, Corey, shaker, ride, conga, breaks is a big one, rhythmic sounding layers, Foley loops, hi-hats, vocal samples, anything that repeats, to add air, hi-hats, attack reduction. Are your hi-hat attacks too harsh? Because you're thinking that every hi-hat should have a really high sharp attack, but it's not always true, especially in D&B, especially if you want the snare to cut through and you've got a hi-hat occurring at the same time. Fills using bizarre sound. This is my twist. So a fill, but I did some of my early D&B. I did do like weird fills with like weird percussive noises that don't sound like real world things. They don't sound like toms or drums. They just sound like just crazy things. Like I don't know what sample I used, but it worked really well. Yeah, drum rolls, snare rolls. You could have like a big long snare roll up to your build in your build. Crashes, impacts. So you know when you go into your second breakdown, you break down in the middle of the tune, you quite often get, or like a movie's like that kind of thing. Yeah, impact sounds. A cheeky drop sample. I get the drop, like this shit here is bad for the brain, something like that. A quick whoosh, reverse cymbal, rises, lots of rises. Yeah, that you need lots of rises, but you don't always. Not every D&B tune has that, but these ones did. And from then onwards, I used this kind of checklist to finish all these up to. I still like that tune. Up to where did I still used it. I still used it. Yeah, no, and it became habit after a while that you can't shy away if you want to make tunes that have big build ups. You have to have lots of elements in the intro. There's no other way of doing it. You have to have layers of shit to build that tension. People expect it. I guess that's one thing that moves with the that is a bit it's daunting to begin with. Yeah, and it does mash your head. But once you've written it down on paper, it doesn't. Once you've written a checklist, you know where you're at with it. You know what you've got to do, and it's just a case of doing tasks. Then you've broken this big cloud of what the fuck do I do into bite-sized chunks, which is how people solve problems in the real world, like engineering problems. Yeah, crackly old quiet distant tape, noisy layer, ear candy. And I didn't, there's so many times where I didn't do those things because there was other things filling the spectrum. But layers, yeah. Then there's there's like other concepts like call and response, atmospheres, different ideas for adding atmospheres, stab layers, pad layers, dub sirens, licks, like guitar licks. Think of Dillinger. Resample basses, fatten out every sound. It's kind of like that's like second nature to me because I've been doing that for ages. But yeah, just like I suppose you could go back into a project that you're not finished and go, how can I fatten every sound? It's a good question to ask. Noise layers, freeze, fire, simplify phrases, and then kick and snare, sweep transients. Don't know what that means. Will a swing improve it? Swing on hi-hats. Oh yeah, decrease the level before the drop, and then put it back to 0 for the drop. Oh yeah, and high pass during the build before the drop. Just slowly filter up all the beats and the low end, and then put it down for the drop. So yeah, if you make a list like this, how does one of the track looks like? What you used? I'm scared to even open a door now. It's been that long. Oh, that's the best. Do you know when I've had like breaks from music, you open a door and you've not forgotten how to use it, but what comes out is usually like the best stuff ever. When I take breaks away, just it feels like it's you had it all stored in there, all these things you wanted to try out and you didn't even know it, and they just come out. So I bet that'll be a fun time when you do open it. How does one of the track looks nowadays? So this is the way I currently do it. Is I just start loads of track sketches. And so I bounced this the other night. It's just, a couple of minutes worth of tune. And then tonight I load up the same track, so I don't have to do all the beats again. I don't have to waste time dropping a completely new beat in. I'll just delete the bass and then reuse the beats, because it's a good way of... Beats don't get as stale as quick as basses do on the ears. You can just keep reusing the same beat and then just make 10 tracks like that with different basses, and then pick like the best two, and try and move them forward. Right, yeah, Ableton's sick, yeah. No, I started with a tracker when I was young. Fast Tracker 2 came on the floppy disk. And put it in my 486. Was it Pentium 486 DX 66 megahertz? That's how fast my first computer was. 66 megahertz. That should tell you roughly how old I am. Roughly. And yeah, it was amazing, because I was like, this software, you can make music with it. Oh my god, this is what people use. I can now make music. It was like an eye-opener. I wanted to make happy hardcore, and it turned out that tracking software is not the best. It's better to make jungle and breakbeat than happy hardcore. So yeah, then I went to Cubase. Well, I went to Cakewalk, which still exists. Cakewalk for MIDI, and then Sound Fonts, which came with like I had a sound card where you could load samples into it in the form of sound fonts, so I could actually play samples in the computer with MIDI. And then Cubase, and then someone showed me Ableton, and I was like, that is amazing. The way you can just group effects and reorder them and make massive effects chains. I was like, this is going to save me so much time for like experimental sound design. Cubase was very slow for reordering effects and doing experiments like that. So I've been on Ableton ever since, for like 7 years, 8 years, or maybe longer. Structure. Yes. Yeah, Babylonia. I do copy other structures, yes. I didn't used to, and that's where I was going wrong, because D&B, especially with D&B and like genre music, there are things that 100% work. If they're going to work, they have the ones that do work always use these types of structures. There's very little deviation off these basic structures. It doesn't mean you can't be madly creative and expressive. It just means DJs will give it a second. They'll give it a minute to listen to. If it's not DJ friendly, they're probably not going to play it. And also, it's not just about the DJs either. People who listen to D&B expect that after a certain amount of beats have passed, they feel it subconsciously in their heart as well, that there's going to be a drop. They know there's a drop coming up, based on some cues and markers that are just almost like universally placed, and they're expecting the drop to come in 16 beats after this, or 32 beats after this. And if that's fucked up in some way, then no one will like it. So yeah, that's one thing. You can reinvent the wheel. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. It is like a wheel. Someone's asked me to cover, actually, to make a tutorial around structure, because when I learned it, I was like, yeah, this is something, like you can see here, right? So that's 16 beats so far. 32, and then I'm going to let another 32 play, and it's going to drop, right? You can see that section, how long it is. Obviously it needs maybe a proper drum build or something. So it's 32 beats so far of the drop. And then at the end, just one more little, like a little drum fill to tell you that the next lot of 64 beats is going to come in. And D&B is usually divided up into these 64 beat sections. Thanks. Serum 2 has helped me out a little bit. I was making foghorns the other night for the first time from scratch, with a bit of help from the chat as well. Some suggestions coming in there, trying to get my head around of what a foghorn is actually made of. Copy it, yeah. Fix the structure at the start, so you can do, yeah. So there's another thing that helped me to do these tracks as well. I decided on a structure, and I can't remember what I based it on. I based it on like most tunes that came out between 2010 onwards in D&B. You basically have 2 lots of 64 for your intro, 4 lots of 64 for the first drop, and then either 1 or 2 lots of 64 for the breakdown in the middle, and then 4 lots of 64 again. So you can just copy the first 4 for the second drop, and your tune's done. So that made me realise that the most important thing to do when making a D&B tune is just get the intro and the drop, the 2 lots of 64 for the intro, and then 4 lots of 64 for the body of the tune. And then you can literally, and I've heard tunes right that are literally just copied and pasted to make it up, and it would be like 5 minutes long. Like they literally just they might as well, the DJ might as well just restart the tune from the beginning instead of doing a breakdown, because it's exactly the same, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think but it's good to be, you can be creative, and instead of just copying the intro again, you can sort of build down into the intro and then build up again to make it flow a bit better. But yeah, like tunes, they used to just restart the whole tune again. Like exactly the same, and people love it. People deep down love repetition. So if they hear that's the exact same build again, and the exact same drop again, with all the beats and sound effects in the same places, the exact same bass, the exact same fills and drum rolls and whooshes, they will love it. I love it. So yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, especially with D&B or dubstep or genre music. But there is plenty of areas where you can do, where you can put your unique twist on it, and that's the thing about doing creative things, is it's got to have a set of rules that you stick to. So if you do follow all the rules, if you want to call these rules of D&B, all these kind of like sonic signposts, as Mike Monday would say, that when you listen to D&B, it's D&B because after a few seconds you've noticed it's at that speed, it's got a kick snare, it's got hi-hat, it's got a dirty bass. You quickly know that it's D&B. Reference track, yeah. So you copy it. So D&B structure has changed a lot. When I was making dubstep since October for this event in February, I was listening. I was just making dubstep like I used to, but I was like, no, song lengths have changed, and so has structure. So I wanted to make a more modern structured dubstep tune. So just randomly, some people were sending me tunes because I was asking for references in chat. Someone sent me a track, and I liked it. At the most, it was like 3 minutes long. I used to do 5 minute long dubstep tracks. There's something weird's going on here. Short attention span, age, or whatever it is. The first minute of this 3 minute track was the build. The second minute was the drop, and then another build, and then the third minute was the second drop, and then an outro. Like half of it was a second drop and half of it was an outro. So that was interesting, and I wouldn't have known that if I didn't kind of count. So I kept going back to the track and using it as a reference, like you were saying there, Babylonia, and then copying the structure. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I used to think that there was. I used to think, no, I want to make completely unique D&B, but you can't, because it's not. It's D&B, so it has to follow. If you're making D&B, it's got to sound like D&B, so it has to follow some of the rules that have gone. Not rules, but some of the elements have to be there that producers have used before for it to be recognised as D&B. So yeah, that was really interesting. Learning a more modern structure, and a lot of modern dubstep is made like that now as well. And so same as D&B. Quite often D&B tunes now are like one lot of 64. You've just got a really short intro. It's an intro that's also a build. It's just like building right from the start. You don't usually get like 5-6 minute D&B tracks anymore, or 7 minute, or 8 minutes. Like jungle tracks used to be 8 minutes long. Yeah, make it your own. Yeah, find a bass line on a track, copy it. Yeah, because even you could copy a bass of any track, but it won't sound like, you won't get it to sound like exactly like it, and you'll probably play it in different. Even if you play it with the same note, you might have a different bass as a call and response that's totally different. So copying is a good way to like start a nice creative flow going and making something completely unique. No one would ever know that it came from listening to another tune. That's what inspiration is, though, isn't it? Kind of thing. So a horn, isn't that just a horn? Should have just used the horn, shouldn't I? Just could have saved myself some time. No, what I did, I posted a video just before I came on live, actually, of how I made this horn sound. Well, kind of, the whole thing's up on YouTube, the whole 2 hours or whatever it was, but I just did a 3 minute chop edit of the video, the live from the other night, of how I made this horn sound, how I talked myself through it, because a horn has the best way of like trying to make a sound is, if you want it to sound like a horn, think of how a horn is built physically. Just think of, if it's a real world sound, start with the actual design and engineering behind the actual thing, and think what would make a reed, what a reed shape, and a resonator, like a horn shape, stuff like that. I'd like to make a door sound, because a door makes a good horn. Creaky door, like it would probably sound better if I sampled one and put some effects on it and then put it through reverb. But I like the challenge of, especially with Serum 2, because I think Serum was my go-to, but Serum 2 is definitely can do some extra shit to fatten things up for sure. This was proven the other night. You've made a track, mixing time. Yes, Sexter. No, this is not just on. was it DJ Siege who came on, said turn this an octave down, so it was up here. And he said turn it an octave down. I'm like, oh yeah. And it went like that. I was like, yeah. The joys of EDM, you just copied the first half and have the second half like exactly the same. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Especially because D&B, you know, you're lucky if your DJ plays more than a minute in, you know, especially on the internet live streaming, because it's more about like double drops and or your triple drops. It's more about the drop. It's more about the build and the drop. That crucial minutes worth of sound, and that's where I think if you're making jump up, especially, that's where you want to focus all your effort. Most, not all of it. Most of your effort on that first 2 minutes of a track where it's building. Well, it's not even 2 minutes. It's like a minute and a half. Doing a build that just makes you go, oh my god, that's the best build ever. Doing a good build and a little breath of fresh air, then the drop. Just a bit of silence just before the drop. And the good little drum fill, and then the drop. You could do a fake drop then. So many fake drops. I don't want to do fake drops, and there's people who hate fake drops, but I kind of like them because you get to hear the bass. But if I'm in a club and a DJ mixes as quick as they would on a live stream, it's too much for me. It's too much. I grew up listening to where a DJ would play the tune out. The producers spend a lot of time making the tune, and it's not even about that. It's just that the producer has their own vibe going. So if a DJ doesn't play more than a minute of a tune, you don't get to hear enough repetition. Because dance music, it's electronic music. We love repetition. So if you take some of that away, all for every single track, so it's okay if you're doing a build. Like if you're doing a 10 minutes, if you're a DJ, and this is how I would structure it, right? Half an hour. You want your peak tunes after half an hour or 20 minutes. You start off slow, and then you do maybe 3 tunes quickly mixed in succession, and it builds attention a bit, and it builds excitement, and then just go down a little bit. But you're already higher than you were, but then let some more tunes play out, and then do that again, and then suddenly, you know, it's 20 minutes, and you can then start doing just huge build-ups, and then drop your peak tune and actually play some of the fucking intro from a tune. But that's, you know, that's what separates DJs, I guess. I'm in for like Mampy Swift doing double, triple drops, but not for the entire set. Just for these moments where there's been plenty that's come before it to build up to it. Anyway, you're up at 6, Corey. Good luck with that. Oh, it's okay. We're on midnight. We're good. Have a good sleep. It's nice chatting. Thanks for asking questions and stuff. Yeah, sleep well. Loom. Favorite preset in Serum 2. I tend to make everything from scratch. When I first got Serum, I did have a listen though to the presets because that's a good test. I heard they were good. I heard the presets were really good. Well, from Serum themselves, from Extra, saying that they've got some unique recorded real instrument samples in here. So yeah, I just went to like the brass. And someone asked me what this was on a. Oh wait, that's mine. This one. Whoops. That's growly, that, innit? That's proper growl. So to answer your question, what setup do I have? I just have, I make everything on earphones now, headphones. I test it on I do my audio, what are they? I think are they 5-inch? And the sub, I've got a sub in this room. It's a pretty, like, it only goes down to 40, it starts cutting off at 45 hertz, but it still gives you just some kind of feel of how the sub would feel in a room. I wish I had a bigger one, but the thing is if you want to go down to like 30 hertz, the size of the cabinet goes from that size to fucking that size. And I could fit one in here, but again, it's 400 quid I don't have, or 300 quid for an add-on. I'd want a decent one. I could build my own, but if I buy one, the crossovers, it'll already be tuned and the cabinet will be the right size. But yeah, so I do have like a MIDI keyboard, but that's it really. Big monitor, a 4K monitor. By the way, big tip to anyone: if you're thinking of buying a 4K monitor, even though your computer can handle it, it will probably slow your computer down massively running 4K, as I learned. And it was like, fuck, either I run this 4K screen at HD or buy a new computer. So I saved up and bought a new computer because I wanted a faster processor anyway. But yeah, 4K takes up more bandwidth, more of the processor than you'd think, right? It's just, I think if I had a tower and I had a separate graphics card, it probably would have been alright. But because I've got, I only have like laptops and all-in-one. What I've got now is like an all-in-one mini PC, so you can't really upgrade it. So it has to be, you have to buy it how it is going to be. But yeah, apart from that, minimal setup, just the bare minimum. I used to make it on just a laptop, like I made whole albums on just a laptop. And you release songs on own private only, use Spotify to release. You got a mixer? Do you? How do I hire a mixer? I mix. I mix and I do everything. Like I've learned everything in parallel, like even mastering. But mastering, I still think is the one. If there was one thing that I would outsource if I could afford it, it would be the mastering. Oh yeah, I mix. Yeah. Yeah. I started off as a producer, got into mixing vinyl, drum and bass on vinyl, and then that made me really want to make D&B like all the time. Yeah, I did an event with James, who's in the chat, in Wrexham. Like we did one every month, a D&B night. Trouble is, it was on a Thursday night, and it's in Wrexham, so it was really quiet. Every night, and after 11 months, they were like, either you bring in like hundreds of quid on the bar, or we'll have to shut your night down. I'm like, It was cool though, just meeting DJs every month, like mates, making friends with like-minded people. It was invaluable and great fun. I'd recommend doing it to anyone just kind of stuck and feeling like there's no one apart from on the internet to sort of like connect with. Just put on a night for free, find DJs in your area who want to play on that night, and find a pub that will let you play on a quiet night, and it's great. RX 1500 costs. What's an RX? RX 2 1500. What's that? There's no pirates. Well, there might be pirate stations. I don't know about them. There's plenty of other radio stations though, like because it's easy now, isn't it, to just do like an internet station and stuff. There's our mate Maya, who we all put on those nights in Wrexham. She plays on a Wrexham local station where I live on the hill. Just I'm in Wrexham, but the signal doesn't travel over the hill just into the bit of valley that I'm in, so I can't tune in on FM to it, but it's there. No pirate studio that I know of. Maybe this should be the pirate studio. 50 words. Oh, RX2. Oh, no, only one. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, well, what I use is yeah, no, they're great. That's what the yeah, that's what we had. That's what we played on in Wrexham, in this club, in this pub. It had like a little DJ booth in it. And yeah, there was not only one. To be fair, the booth did not have any more room for anything. But yeah, it's a good piece of kit. Yeah, played many of my own tunes on it as well. And it can play FLAC as well because most of my collection is in FLAC. But yeah, it was great. It was a great place because I was making new tunes all the time, and knowing that there was a gig coming up, that's always nice, that because you can always kind of like aim to sort of, it's a deadline, isn't it, where you can finish stuff up to play out, see how it sounds, see what people think. Yeah. Oh, so you had one. You had to sell it because you had the kid. Ah, yeah. It's got to be done though, isn't it? See, the way I do mix at home is with virtual DJ. Um, I've always loved virtual DJ. In fact, converting from virtual DJ to the Pioneer system was a bit of a. I used to bring my laptop. The first time I played on that night, I put my laptop on top of this because I know it so well. I know my system so well, and I've got this really old MIDI controller, this DJ MIDI controller. That's just a MIDI controller, and it's like it's so old, but it works. I can pull off some amazing mixes with it. Like, but obviously, it's a bit fucking shit turning up with, if you're not just turning up with USBs and using the system it's complications. There's more technical shit that can go wrong, and you don't want to be lifting this thing up in the middle of someone else's set, at the end of someone else's set, looking for fucking phono holes, the correct phono holes, and then finding the channel to admit. Actually, no, the one they had was a 4-channel one, so I think it's the next one up. It's an XDJ, but I can't remember which way. It's the 4-channel one. So yeah, my laptop went into one of the 4. But yeah, never again. So yeah, luckily Maya was like, "Go on, you can learn it, you can do it. Get on the record box." So I got it. It wasn't record box. I did it on the virtual DJ. Has an export to record box. So all I had to do was use my favorite program, put the cue points in, just fix the tempos, make a playlist, and just press export to Nexus, like modern Nexus 2 on the USB, and it fucking did it, and it worked, and I could play all my FLACs, so I was really happy with that. Yeah, I'm used to the record box now. I can do a decent set. That's after like a year of practicing on like every month once. Didn't take that long. Well, I hope you can find some time, mate, to do it. You need sleep though. You need sleep, mate. 6 hours ain't enough. maybe you'll find time. Maybe you'll find time in your busy schedule to do an hour or something. It might be the best thing you ever did. Yeah, I know it would for me anyway. How do I take the grid? It's this thing. I never use this thing. It's in the track overview. It's called. I just think it's pointless because you can just zoom out like that. Why would you need an overview? It just takes up space. Where is it? View. It's got to be in there, isn't it? Overview. Gone. There we go. It's under the bed. So new track tonight. Oh, I was gonna bounce this. Just because I chopped that bit of bass out there and there. So on these two body bits, it's not there, but on these two it is. So it's like another variation. And then this sounds a bit different, this one. Not sure if you saw earlier, you were on Logic the last, and then you changed to Ableton the month before having your kid. Was it? $20 kilos. That's a. How big is this laptop? The last laptop I bought was it like 1.78 kilos? I think it was, which is impressive. Like that is, and it's not even it wasn't an Apple laptop either, and it was it was not bad. It was an i5, and it was not bad. It could do pretty much all the things on Ableton I was doing. It couldn't load some of my template files with like 100 tracks with like loaded with all different synths though. It really fucked, like would not load it. It would take 2 hours to load it. But that was a memory issue. That was just because it would fill the memory up, then go to swap file, and for some reason there was a bottleneck there, and yeah, it would be 2 hours. So yeah, as long as I didn't load those templates, it'd work. Spec to the max. Okay, so it's like a PC in a laptop rather than. That's crazy. No way. That's fucking mad. I didn't know you could get laptops like that. It just sounds like a PC on your lap. Is it a mobile processor inside, or is it like a beefy thing? Is it a desktop processor? Because they run slower, don't they? They kind of mobile processors. Like I'm on the mobile processor now. It's a mini PC, but it's all on one board. So it's a mobile processor that you'd get in a laptop. And it's soldered all to one board, apart from the memory. Yeah, so graphics is out. It's all on one board, and because of that, it is in some way. It's some areas it's a bit slow, but it's still faster than the laptop that I had. Twice as big. I still got. You're gonna have to send me a picture, mate. That's insane. Can you make a video of you and your setup? Because that's nuts. I just can't fucking believe it. Oh, it's an Alien. Okay, right. Because they were like gaming laptops. Gaming laptops are really good for making music on. I used to have a P34G, a gigabyte. I don't think they make them anymore. Well, they don't make them. Of course, they don't make them anymore. But that's what I learned Ableton on, and Minecraft. And what was really good about that laptop was the screen. The screen was an HD screen, but only 14 inches. But the colours on it were just perfect with the like. They've selected it for the vividness kind of thing. Sharky, Minecraft is, yeah. The original Minecraft music is just amazing. It definitely made more amazing by, you're in this world and you're submerged in it and you're creative but you're trying to survive at night. It's like a whole life. You're living this life inside Minecraft, and then you've got this incidental music that just comes on randomly, doesn't it? And it's just beautiful music. Really cements the memories and experience. Yeah, C418 he's called, isn't he? The guy. And when Microsoft bought Minecraft off Mojang, they didn't want to they wanted to use C418's music again, but C418 says he didn't like the licensing terms. They wanted the full exclusive rights to his music, but that's not how he did the first lot. So yeah, his new music isn't on there, but he has written for other games. Yeah, so he still owns all the rights to the original, which means he can license them out. And now that Minecraft film out, he would have got a licensing deal directly with the filmmakers, and he would have made sweet money from that. Whereas if he'd licensed his music out to Microsoft would probably get all of it or most of the percentage of it. So it's one of them, innit? Making deals, signing new music away. It's difficult because sometimes you might not make anything, but the whole world might hear it. What do you want? Do you want money or people listening to music? There's a balance. I think there's a balance to be struck somewhere. But it'd be a killer, that, wouldn't it? If you didn't make anything, or if you only made 5%, and one of your tracks went, multi-platinum, you only made like $5,000 out of it or something, which is still a lot of money. Hey, here's Adam Foxcroft. Here is Adam Foxcroft. Yeah, no, Sharky, that's right. Beautiful music. And to be fair though, who Microsoft hired to have music in the newer versions of Minecraft, they're also pretty good, nice, weird ambient music. I can't say it's, it's still pretty cool music, but can't be the original. It's been a minute. Yeah, I'm good. Just making foghorns. That's what that sounds like. Made a foghorn last night from scratch. I wanted to try and model what a real foghorn does. Why are you in stitches, James? Which bit? Right, bounce this again because I just changed it slightly. Insane soundproof. Thanks, Shaggy. I didn't even realize that I was doing sound design until a few years ago. Because I got most of the initial ideas by watching tutorials, and I just watch what I've done in a tutorial, make it myself, and then save it, and then tweak it from there, and then start other things from scratch. But yeah, that is sound design, isn't it? It's designing sounds from scratch rather than, I guess, non-sound design would be just using all off-the-shelf presets, which is nothing wrong with doing that. In fact, you probably make more tracks quicker using ready-made presets because, well, quality ones anyway, because they just sound good off the bat. But yeah, thanks. I want to make more sounds like this now, trying to figure out a door noise. I want to make a door because that's almost like a foghorn sound. It's got that, but faster. Bro, I just came back in and I'm just making foghorns. What's today's foghorn? Sam Smyers is really good for sound design. Yeah, I've got his email. I'm on his email list, I think. Nice. Oh well, yeah. I'll hit you up if I have time to fucking like my email. Oh shit! I've got so many emails that come in that are like that I've signed up to, and for just doing that. In fact, I've got a backlog of personal messages that I need to respond to. Yeah, the last time I released DMB on Nextlev, NEXLEV on SoundCloud, was this one, Choice.
Show me.
Got some air going on in there, I think. What was this? Nothing to be added.
So that you're completely present, not waiting for me to add anything to this moment, not waiting for anything to be added to this moment.
I played that a few times out and about in Wrexham and at festival. Maybe at more than one festival. Yeah, I might have actually played it twice now at the festival. And what's the other good one? Step Up the Pace. So yeah, that's Nextlev. That's where I put all my D&B, but everything else goes under Terrapastel, like any experimental or dubstep or whatever goes under here. So yeah, the whole track. It's not finished or anything. All I do for these variations is a copy, just duplicate, so it duplicates everything, and then just tweak some of the like the octave level stuff like that, and the pulse width. You know, that's when you get the best sound. You know, once you've set something up and you just think, I've saved it, I've got nothing to lose, right? And you just start turning knobs. not thinking, not hesitating, and then you get like that sounds even fatter than it did just a minute ago. Does it? Especially by halfway, it's starting to go a bit like it's just starting to sound. Do you hear it? Very, very like. Yeah, I can actually get more of that nice bit. Sounds a bit distorted though. No bass, sounds refreshing. Send you it. Oh, some smart. Yeah. Thanks, Adam. So Sharky, yeah, that's next Slave and Terrapastel. Can we hear the track? The first foghorn. That first foghorn and B section bass. Oh yeah. So I mean, it's hard for me. This is why I don't make. I think it might be one reason why I don't really make Liquid, because Liquid D&B tends to just be one like a Reese or just some kind of not very attention grabbing bass that just kind of rolls along, because Liquid is more about, I think it's more about the vocal, or the if you've got some other synth on top and it's kind of chilled and it's not too attention grabbing. But I can't make that stuff. I guess I have the attention span where I want to make stuff that changes more than, so I don't really use those soft respaces. I use a lot of call and response, or even more than that, like call and response, and then another call and response in response to the first call and response. Sometimes, not this time. This is like this is a kind of call response, because it's just two basses talking, like starts with a foghorn and then goes into. So Serum 2 is amazing, because this patch I'm using 4 oscillators, one of them noise, even without the noise. That's this two oscillator high sine wave is adding some nice harmonics, and then when I add this wave, this triangle wave in at a 7th with some FM from B, from this sine wave in, it sounds like this, but if I turn all the effects off, it would sound pretty plain. Can I turn all the effects off easily? I don't think I can. Yeah, there we go. It would sound like that. But I've got one of the oscillators going into this effect stack here. This triangle wave that sounds like this is going into a reverb. Is going into 2 reverbs, a multi-band compressor, and high pass. And when that's mixed with it, it sounds alright. It sounds different than you might just have that bass normally in a D&B tune. Doesn't need to be. I don't need to have this extra layer. I might be going too far having this extra layer. Kind of sounds more badass without that extra layer. don't know. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's hard. Hard to know what to do right. I think adding this in doesn't really take away too much. So many options, so many choices. That's why it's good to use references more than I do. I don't know. At this point, while I'm building a track, it's probably good not to use references, because this is where you can create stuff that's from the heart, rather than, like, if I was trying to copy a sound, I would have started the track that way, or I would have started the session listening to a reference. But I don't want to listen to a reference halfway through this, because there's already some structure here. But I will want to listen to a reference when it comes to mixing it. And when I'm mixing it, I might decide to remove that extra layer. So it's just that. Because that's usually enough that I take that kind of bass. Especially after a noisy bass, a noisy foghorn. If you've got a nice sort of one that you can talk over. You can still feel it in your chest, but you can go, there's, you can say, you can talk to your rave buddy, trip buddy. So we did well. Did I save this last night as a thing? I didn't. I thought I did well there, making a new sound. That's what I need to get into the habit of doing, is whenever rather than waiting until the tune is finished and then going, oh, those were good, really good sounds, is actually every so often just save a sound. Like if every night I just saved one preset in Serum 2, I'd be a millionaire in a year's time. Right. I can hear baby crying. Is she going to stop crying, or do I need to get her? Let's just save this preset. Let's just practice what I preach anyway. Why's the old Serum popped up? That's a bit weird. There it is, right. So don't know what to call it. I mean, it's a DMB bass, isn't it? Maybe. Foghorns needs to be on the bass as well. Bass. I'm called bass. Wait, no. Drop foghorns into bass, then go into bass, and then call this. I don't even know what kind of bass. I wanted to do this, all the archetypes of D&B basses. There's probably like at least a dozen. And I still have. I only would need to want to do this because I want to know what to label them as, so I can find them next time, nice and quick. So this sound, I did call them pitch basses before. What do you call a bass that goes down? This, like an old composer term, like down pitch. Should we Google it? Down pitch. should just call it pitch down rather than a fancy Italian word, but I would love to know. Notation. Is it notation? Notation. What's the down pitch, slide down. What symbol lowers the pitch? Flat. Accidentals. I think now you just have to put the fucking notes in, don't you? And then glide down. So we'll just call it pitch down. It's the closest description I can think of. Even though I do so many pitch down basses that all sound so different. So gate reverb layer. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to find this sound again when I need it. That's the whole point of trying to come up with a labeling system like this. Oh. It's a bit clicky, isn't it? Why is it clicky? What's that? This is going to be the start of our next tune anyway. Delete all that. New tune begins. It's heavy. That sustain a bit longer and get rid of the click. We need to figure out where that's coming from. It's probably in the effects, isn't it? No. It's in this convolver here. One of the best sounding bits of To be fair, when I dialed this in, I don't know if any of you know much about convolvers, where you can model the shape of a room and play it back as a reverb. Because what convolution reverb is. Serum, too, have somehow managed to make the size of the room automatable and changeable without having to reprocess. I mean, it must be doing some reprocessing on the fly, because my processor is spiking 15% every time it does it, so it's obviously using a lot of process power, but it's quite an amazing feat that they've done that. It just clicks. Why wouldn't it click? Because it's a big effect. Pre-delay, alright. Adding pre-delay gets rid of it. Okay. Didn't expect that. Okay. Okay. Lengthen. Let's double the length of these LFO envelopes. Okay, let's double it again, but only have it as an envelope, but then like move this so it's still got some movement with the pitch there. There's some crazy like modulations in between sort of pitches there. See if we can change. One of my favourite things that you can do in Sim 2 is modulate anything with anything. You can now use the output of an oscillator to change the amplitude of something. So if we want to change this to follow the sine wave on oscillator 1 with a bit of tweaking. Sound shit. No, we need to go into the modulation matrix and then I forgot now. I think we need to change this shape. I could explain why if anyone wanted to know why it's got to be this shape. It's not doing it. I wonder why. Doesn't sound like I expect, but it is just not. There's not much coming out of here, so. I guess it didn't work out, so let's get rid of it. Whoa. Don't be so loud. That doesn't make sense. Maybe I turned it down. There shouldn't be anything modulating this now. There is. Whoa, what have I done? I've ruined my sound. Luckily, I saved it. Yeah, I'm going to start again because I just totally fucked that one up. Doesn't sound the same anymore. I've messed it up completely. How have I? Oh, that's why. It'll never sound the same now that I've done that. And we can get rid of those clicks again. think I've lost momentum because I lost all that progress. Rather than just doing undo a few times, I decided to start again, and that has completely ruined my flow. So now I'm in nothing to lose mode. Let's just go crazy. I always hesitate because that's only an 8-bar loop, right? An 8-beat loop, 2 bars. I always think that's loads of drum and bass is this loopy, this short loops, but I like the stuff that's longer. Anyway, this is falling into place. I can always change it later. variation. Going better than I expected, kind of. So we'll give it a new name at this point. Just save as, and then I'll go back. HIJKLM. Milk? No. Milk? I feel like I've done a track called Milk before. Let's go to the word finder for a word beginning with M. Any takers in the chat? It's quick draw. Who's going to get there first? Gamete. No, midsection. Meddlesome. Meddlesome is a good one. I'll go for that, unless anyone's quicker. Meddlesome. LM. Okay, got our news. Boo. It's like, it sounds like a very reverby bass, but it's actually quite controlled. Maybe. All my effects there. The reverb does disappear a bit quickly. We could put another LFO there instead and use that, because I think it might work. So LFO1 instead of that, let's turn it off. Bypass convolution wet. Instead use LFO2. Still that click at the end, but barely noticeable. Let's try PWM on this one, or sync. No. PWM. No. Doesn't make sense. Why is that moving? It's moving with the global tune, isn't it? No way. That's a new feature as well. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. My eyes are starting to hurt a lot. See if there's any fancy effects I can put on this last bit. Yeah, don't think there is. Distortion. No, it's not much of a variation. It sounds a bit different. That's almost exactly the same. Okay. Anyway, it's not bad for a night's work. Could have done it quicker, but. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to bed satisfied. That started at least one new tune. Be good to do one every night. There's a million other things I need to do. Tomorrow night, I don't think I'll be on because I've got like a remix. I'm doing a remix for someone. And I don't think I can do it on live stream. Be good if I could, because then you'd all get to see and learn along with me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just taking the drums and the bass out and do my own drums and bass. But the vocal on there is so good, you know, it's like inspiring. So it should just make itself with a good vocal. It's what I've always wanted. Good vocal. Now it's landed on through this medium of live streaming. It's connected me with some good people who, my kind of people, do you know what I mean? So it's all going really well. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in, watching. It's been fantabulous. But I'm going to go now. I bounce. Did I save this? Did I already bounce it? I did bounce it. Yeah, I did bounce it. Okay. Yeah, brilliant. Right, thank you everyone. Thanks for your suggestions, input, sharing things, sharing your thoughts and everything. It's always a pleasure. I will be back either tomorrow night or the night after if my babies aren't poorly, because that stops me from coming on as well. Right,